That one.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Let's get this show on the road.
Before you say anything, prepare to shut the fuck up.
Screw me. I ripped ass at the ATM.
McLovin! Nice!
Sit back, relax, and enjoy Irrelevant Platitudes with your hosts, Peter Benici and Lil Dazil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Happy Friday. Well, it's Wednesday. It's not Friday, everyone. Welcome to episode number 4. We're your hosts, Peter Benici and Lil Dazil. Where's Irrelevant Platitudes? That's you, isn't it?
Bringing you irrelevant commentary on all things pop culture, dating and relationships.
I haven't made that mistake in a while. We can just pretend like that didn't happen.
We don't. No, you fucked it up. Everyone needs to know.
Because how does it go? It's happy whatever day it is. Welcome to episode number.
We are your hosts,
And
Peter Benici,
do I point to
and
you?
I say
point to you.
and Lil Dazil. Usually, maybe
We're your
not.
hosts, Peter Benici
And Lil Dazil, bringing you irrelevant commentary.
There you go.
Yeah, so you stole
Cool.
my thunder.
I am really
and you
tired.
fucked up the day.
I'm very tired. I'm very,
no
very
excuses.
tired. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I hope you enjoyed the episode of Am I Dating a Narcissist last week. I think we all, including myself, realized we dated a few too many narcissists. Am I right? Yeah, true.
Yes.
How was your week, dude?
Well, the last 2 weeks, technically.
okay, you
drink
did
of the
the thing.
week. Sorry, that was almost automatic.
That's
Drink of the week.
you rush it now. You're
I know, I'm
You're like,
just
just
like
do it. I'm thirsty.
Hey, this time I didn't open it. White Claw is always natural
they're
lime.
so good, man.
They are.
Did I give you the watermelon ones? We had that at the party, right?
Mhm.
Do you like watermelon over that?
Always, yeah. But I don't mind these as well. I think
I
they're
want to get
delicious. It's like
fizz,
cordial.
but to Fisher, if you ever listen to this podcast, you dog, put it in more places. But how was the week? Do you want your notes for your week?
Yeah. So the last fortnight, for me was really intense. So I had to do some ADOS training for my career.
What's ADOS?
ADOS is the adult diagnostic observation schedule. Not adults, sorry, autistic diagnostic observation schedule. For adults, adolescents, all that kind of thing.
Wow.
So basically, yeah, pretty much, to technically help me identify autistics, but I mean, the whole thing is not really great at picking it up, and also it misses many things. It's quite ableist in some other ways, and additionally to that, I had to do 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. mornings because it was in America based. So
1 a.m. to 9 a.m.
yeah, so I was like running off
Jesus.
3 hours a day of sleep because my
You didn't
body hates
adjust.
the light,
Yeah.
and not even adjustment. It's just I can't sleep when it's daytime.
Yeah.
So that was sucky, but I
Can
learned
you get
essentially
melatonin?
how to
Can you just
diagnose
get that over the counter?
what.
Melatonin.
Yeah,
help you
but nah, doesn't help me.
Fuck.
And particularly,
Because you're on speed 24/7.
pretty much
Le-
yeah.
the
legal
medical
speed.
speed for
I'm on
medical people listening.
dexamphetamines and Vyvanse. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was really exhausting, and also the fact that it's a meh kind of thing. But I've been accepting more work from Deakin University, which is one of the places I can say that I work at without it having repercussions anymore. So that's been an exciting thing. I had Airbnb sex in a hotel kind of room space. So that was fun as well. Finally, I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Just to clarify for everyone playing at home, that was the... Oh, no, they don't know. So this is not the weird guy that draws you.
No, but I am going to see him again as well,
Yeah.
because I did see him and it was really nice as well. So that was fun. That aside, today I facilitated my own developed workshop on sex education. So I'm running a 6-week program at the moment for autistic thank you, AFAB individuals, so assigned female at birth. And I think it went okay. I am doing... okay, generally speaking, getting overwhelmed with a lot of things and going into shutdown. And turns out that I am such a sponge with things that I keep saying it do be like that to my clients, and it's really becoming a problem.
But they're kids, aren't they?
I work with adults, I work with parents,
Okay.
I work with teenagers, I work with kids. With kids and with teenagers, it can fly under the radar a bit, but with adults, saying it do be like that sometimes
Is it
is probably
disjointing?
not the right.
Do you lose your power of authority when you do it?
I actually break down the power authority every time I have a session. I do that intentionally. I'm like, no, we are people. We are people on a fundamental level. So I would rather speak to them. So if I'm with kiddos, I'll hop on the floor and chat with them.
With that, like, do they, when they teach you guys, do they teach you to do what feels right, or do they teach you that you should be?
No, they teach you specific ways. I've always gone against that grain though, because I believe in being authentic in my sessions.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, you know,
can they fuck you for that? Like in the
so long as I'm using science-based practice.
I don't know what sense, but
if I'm being ethical and using science-based practice, it's absolutely fine.
You can just deliver it however you want.
If I'm, you know, giving advice out, that's not, you shouldn't be giving advice generally unless there's like strategies.
Well, like Jordan Peterson, who does that all the time. Am I right,
it
guys?
Do be like that.
He's a fuckhead, man. He was on Joe Rogan this week.
That's like the worst.
Did you know he was addicted to opiates?
That doesn't surprise me.
He went to a doctor because he's a psychiatrist. So they're the ones that peddle the drugs, right?
Yeah. Well, they can, yes.
They often
will
prescribe drugs to fix mental problems.
Yes,
is what
correct.
I'm saying.
Yes.
And yeah, he went to his GP. This is why I don't believe it, because he would know the dangers of opiates. You fucking hope so, right? If he's giving people opiates for stuff that he's treating, you'd think he would understand how addictive they are.
Well, yes and no, because addiction's different than that. Firstly, it's environmental, but also like a lot of it.
But it's chemical. It's a
but
chemical
in the sense
addiction.
of how addiction can occur is based on the environment around you. So if you had morphine in a hospital, you're less likely to be addicted to it than if you were to be in an environment where you weren't supported by other people. I understand that, but in the same context of that. And then within that same frame of mind, a lot of health professionals are usually treating individuals with things that they struggle with themselves, right? So I guess in that same regard, he probably, like, it makes like the logical sense that would be the suit. Doesn't make it okay or appropriate or helpful.
I wasn't saying it was good or bad. I'm just saying it was hilarious that he understands how they are and then still sort them out and then use them. There's a lot of information out there, man. It's like, I can't remember what his issue was. Anyway.
Issue is in like the mental health struggle
thing?
Or
he got mad anxiety because of obviously how his message is finally being seen to what it is. Which is like super destructive. It's just destructive. We'll leave it at that. He's like, I didn't realize how politically charged even Canadians can get because he's not even American. And he will call people straight up like lefties and shit. And I'm like, you're a doctor, dude. Like, what is going on? Anyway, he had such bad anxiety that I think that's how he got onto this medication. Because of how people were just lighting him up 24/7.
Well, if you say the things online,
and he was talking to Joe Rogan, who obviously gets lit up just as much now.
Yeah.
And he's just like, just don't read the comments. And dude, they all read the comments. Everyone reads the comments.
100%.
It's just like, don't pretend
not
like
as
you're
a human. Yeah.
Don't
exactly.
lie. But
how was your week?
My week was pretty standard. I just trained, worked. The coaching stuff is kind of a bit. Hello, Goat Gash.
You were saying don't
Goth
read
Gash.
this to tongue in cheek moment.
I didn't though.
I did.
You did.
What did I just say? I'm sorry. I can't not. I need to know all pieces of information at all times. All right.
That's true. I can blur it. Yeah. So the week was pretty lame for me. Everyone's obviously transitioned into. Thanks for the follow, dude. That's the follow thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're transitioning into still working from home, and then, long story short, I'm having to do procedural things at work that other departments should be doing.
Yep.
As an IT project manager.
Okay, so you're doing roles that
I'm
are
doing
not things that you should be doing. Are you getting paid for it?
It's more like, you know, when you can feel stuff getting palmed off to you.
Yep. That's shit.
But like, it's easy to do. That's the thing. It's not hard. But I'm just
still
like,
not something you're getting paid for, though.
It just shows the capacity to which I can do things, which I understand. But then it's like anyone can do that.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't divulge too much because it's local government stuff.
That really sucks, though.
But yeah. Anyway, but the more fun stuff, because no one gives a fuck about what I do for work.
I do.
Thank you.
Yo, you about done? Tick tock, motherfucker.
It's like the one thing that I edited quite well. I don't like the other ones. All right, so let's go. I'm ready. We're gonna do. We dropped some reels on Instagram last week and they did so well. I'll just do a Control R, mate.
Oh,
I got it. So
you got it, mate.
I will confirm. So this one is perfect for everyone listening. really do go to the YouTube channel if you've been listening on all the platforms that we post to.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find any of our stuff, just go to the link tree. So it's like link.tree/IrrPlatPod. And it'll give you all of the stuff we have. Jump on YouTube. It's way better, man.
Agreed. And our faces are very entertaining when you see reactions, I suppose.
Yes. So I'm going to restart this and crank the audio.
Okay.
I'm looking at a UFO in the woods.
All right. Where are you?
I'm behind the lumberyard on 26. There's this huge orb of purple light.
Okay, stay where you are. We're going to send someone to check it out.
What if I am to be our planet's ambassador?
Just stay put.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker.
What are you doing?
Driven down.
No, sir. Please put your clothes back on and wait for the patrol car.
This is my moment. I'm getting in that thing. You just keep recording this aside.
Sir.
Welcome overlord! I am Steven! No.
What's the matter?
I've intruded on a fancy party.
And what about the orb?
It's a disco ball.
And you're naked?
Yep. Hey, the bear's here. Looking good, man.
That's
It's
good.
pretty good, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, this one's the last one. That one's so good. All right. This is great, though.
Can you turn on the audio a little bit, please?
This should be okay. I think this is lower. Yeah. This is the one you need to watch online, guys. It's fantastic. Like,
I've never seen such active hip thrusts.
dude, it's so good. This would have taken them days to film.
Yeah, these guys are great.
Look at it.
The synchrony, I
can't even begin to explain this one to you guys. It's
oh man,
it's like four guys playing golf sings to that song, but you know, it's fantastic.
They made one about trying to cut through sourdough bread at cafes. A video,
yeah,
fucking hilarious. Ends up with them like using a saw and stuff.
Are these guys like a thing?
Progressive. It's it's their this group. They do like really good videos.
That's so good. I did not know.
I've not seen this one though. Yeah, no, well, I only found out about them today on TikTok.
This one is
all
fucking
right.
ace.
Careful now. Careful now.
So good, bro.
Okay, pretend I'm not me and I'm a random girl and I'm a girl at a party and I come up to you. Hey, how are you? What's your name?
What are we gonna do?
I'm a random girl, I'm not me. Okay, pretend I'm not.
I don't know why my my heart did a little bit of but that was good to watch.
All right, so again, audio catch up. She asked him what he was going to do. He spat in her face. That's what that noise was. If you couldn't tell, not bad.
Not bad.
Funny
good
size. Good stuff.
Funny size also. Yes.
Moving and ever so gracefully into our next segment.
No news is good news.
All right.
Yeah.
Some local Australian news this week. We have identified a super bad boss bitch in Australia, and to everyone, because we've got a few international listeners, which is fucking awesome. But we have obviously on Australia Day every year we have a Australian of the Year, and she's been the recipient I think 2 years in a row.
I think a different human was elected this time.
So they work together. Anyway, for some reason I've heard that, so we will see. But she straight up staunched our Prime Minister because he's a bit of a dumb C and has, we'll see, we'll let them talk and you guys can see it.
3 days after the moment that captured Australia, ourselves included.
If you can't be polite in some form, then I just think don't go.
So this guy, I think, has been removed from the project.
Good.
No, but to be fair, he's allowed to have an opinion.
And to
even
be
if it's
fair,
wrong.
she's quite literally autistic. Why would she have to smile and mask?
No. So, but she did it on purpose. It's good. Like the reason. So I guess I think I covered
but
it,
you
but I'll
do
cover it
realize
again.
that masking is on purpose. So she, intentionally dropped the mask, but that's an authentic self. Like that is autism.
It was done
generally.
to prove a point, which is still fine. But so if you're listening, there was a press conference or a photo shoot with him, with the Prime Minister and this girl. And instead of playing ball and smiling, because she's an advocate for
sexual assault
against mainly women, and he's been kind of a piece of shit about it across the board, and also has people in his cabinet.
He's not been addressing it at all.
Yeah, he had a member that was accused of rape and stuff and didn't really say anything about it. And then has also tried to have her removed from conversations about it as well, because she's on a few different organizations.
There was actually a few questions about it on an interview, I think yesterday or the day before, and it was actually hilarious. Interview, I don't remember her name, but she was fully addressing it as well.
Yeah.
Just a journalist, and
I think it's coming up. I've got that.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, so it's really good to see people. Ironically enough, because in the next little bit, there's some stuff about Gladys Berejiklian.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked her after all this came out what her opinion was, and the bitch still towed the line.
Really?
She didn't say anything because she's that much of a gut maggot that wants to stay in fucking politics. She wants to sell her gender down the fucking river to stay in line.
What a shame.
Fuck you, you
What's new with
bitch.
politicians, though?
And quiet. Why can't she go and make a statement in her behaviour about how she feels about what's happened over the past year?
That's true,
Today,
man.
the PM finally had something to say about the thing everyone's had something to say about.
Look, I've seen all that. When anyone comes to our home, when Jenny and I we invite someone to our home, we greet them with a smile, and they're always welcome. I haven't raised any issues about this. All I'm saying is we were there that day to celebrate those who've done an incredible job for our country.
Scott Morrison alluding to the fact that the furor had overshadowed the Australian of the Year festivities.
Look, Grace is a passionate person who's raised important issues. She's had a terrible life, terrible life.
What does that have to do with it?
Happened to her deal.
What does that have to do with anything? How bad is this guy, man?
Awful, and I know a lot of Australians, me included.
I'm sorry, I'm turning that off. He's just positioning. Like that's. I'm not even gonna. I will not platform that sort of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she served him up, which was sick. You should definitely be allowed to say how you feel.
Yeah.
And especially if it's something super, super, super important. Absolutely. I am just buying time to grab the actual other thing that I had, which is this one. Yo. Bring that down.
This actually wasn't the thing.
There were fiery scenes at the PM's National Press Club.
This followed a few days later. People listening, it's just wanky protest outside.
Well, thank you very much.
Press Club President
It
Laura
was.
Tingle
I lied.
wasting
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this opportunity to actually say sorry for the mistakes you've made as Prime Minister?
Well, thanks for the question.
The PM dipping and dodging.
It's just such bullshit, like the way he speaks.
What actually makes Parliament more safe for women now?
Have you lost touch with ordinary Australians?
Doesn't this suggest lessons haven't been learned?
Why are you the best person to lead the coalition to the next election?
Off the top of your head, can you tell me the price
looks
of
like
a
a
loaf
frog.
of bread, a litre of petrol and a rapid antigen test?
I'm not going to pretend to you that I go
Listen
out
to
each
this.
day
Slick.
and I buy a loaf of bread
Listen
and
to
I buy
this.
a litre of milk. I'm not going to pretend to you that I do that.
I mean, it's one banana, Michael. What does it cost? $10?
$10?
That reminds me of that and the Ricky Gervais fucking.
The dude has the blind arrogance to think that it's okay to be like, I was a straight shooter about how fucking disenfranchised I am with going to the shops and buying food. That comment I'll come out all right saying that.
My privilege. I'm going to speak to it and about it.
He's public spoken for how long? How many years? And he can't even answer the shit truthfully and be like, no, I don't. And that's pretty poor.
Every time I think about it, it's just you tell him, say, get fucked from Nelligan. I'm just like, yep. That's like my only thought.
I guess my one fear with this
bushfires.
is it's because the majority of the people that work in like the big high-end media orgs, they're all liberals. So I think they might just be trying to switch the head of the party. I don't think they're actually trying to fix the country.
Well, sounds about right. It's what they did before.
Because they're going to lose the election. So I think they might be trying to switch
reckon they will?
leadership. Yeah. All projections are that they're fucked currently.
Okay.
Unless there's a massive swing and they're able to invent something to make... It's just the way the whole thing's been handled, the pandemic and stuff.
I know a lot of people in Victoria were pretty pissed off with Dan Andrews, so that's why I wonder.
But you'll get flips on both levels.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid. And they'll be like... They don't actually look at the full chain. So it's like... long story short, for people don't really care about Australian politics. But the way it was handled across all states was it was like a hands-off
Poorly.
approach, unless you're liberal. Yeah, and then he would help liberals, and they would get. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep, Gladys in particular.
Yeah, and then so that's the thing too. I think the texts come up here.
Kind of.
I wanted to ask you about close
Here we
friend
go.
Gladys Berejiklian. I've been provided with a text message exchange between the former New South Wales
Who's a
Premier
snitch?
Who's
and a
liberal?
current Liberal cabinet minister. In one, she describes you as, quote, a horrible, horrible person, going on to say she did not trust you and
He looks
you're
like
more
Kermit the Frog.
concerned with politics than people. The minister is even more scathing, describing you as a fraud and, quote, a complete psycho. Does this
That's what
exchange
Paul said
surprise
tonight.
you? And what do you think it tells us?
Not about. Let's go, man.
Well, I don't know who you're referring to or the basis of what you've put to me. But I obviously don't agree with it. And I don't think that's my record.
For the record, Gladys can't recall these.
See, she just fucking.
Just about Scott Morrison and your relationship with Scott Morrison.
And for the
What is
PM,
that?
It was
What
all
is
about-
that?
You reckon she used to fuck him? Just
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
he
he
probably
gave us
no.
some
I don't think he would
free
aim that
little-
low. Wait. She's no good,
You
man.
don't need an audio
She's
track.
no good. She's terrible.
At her job, maybe, but she's still a good human.
No, she's not actually by all premise. So she did all the fucked up insider trading stuff and
In terms of
sold the
that,
state down. Yeah, so like heinous shit.
yes, but also the work. Look, I'm not discrediting that at all. But in terms of the work that she did do prior to get to the place that she is, she's actually done quite a lot as far as like
What?
being a woman in politics. You have
Gillard
to,
did it before her. But what?
oh no, Gillard was fucking fantastic. So
Yeah.
as far as anything goes, everyone
No,
can eat
she's
shit.
like that. Her gender should have nothing to do with it in terms of.
Oh no, 100%.
the
She did a
performance in
shit
the
job,
industry.
just generally speaking.
But
And
that's what I'm
last
saying.
year,
So
that's
once
why
she
got
got
out of
there,
the job.
she was. But it's the thing of she's getting a lot given to her because of her gender. So people are like that. You can see the spin. I'll give you some footage on it about how graceful she's being and all this sort of shit. And you're like, no, hang on. She's committed borderline atrocities where she was found by a liberal-based governing body that there was severe corruption, and she stayed in when they were like, you need to leave.
Yes.
And then only until they were like, we're going to take you to court, did she leave.
Look, in terms of the graceful leaving, I think it's just more the fact that she didn't kick up a very verbal or loud fuss about it. I think that's the only difference and
She got caught
association.
red-handed.
Well, yeah, of course. But most politicians have before. But to be fair, a lot of politician men do tend to be more
I wouldn't look at
outwardly
gender at
verbal
all.
about it.
I don't see it needs to come into the argument.
I don't think it's about gender, but I'm saying that the way that they've probably attributed it is based on the reaction, which was more quiet. Even though there was the red-handedness, it wasn't outwardly externalized.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I do, but she's not a good person.
Fair enough, yep.
She's not.
I don't know her
trust me.
enough to be
Yeah.
able to make that call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure.
Definitely. Like, terrible. But take that from this podcast today. She's fucked. Anyway, moving into the more interesting subject of dating and relationships. That one.
And all the while, you're just really wondering, are we going to get hopped up enough to make some bad decisions? Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Yes. I have to do this because we have infographics today.
Infographics.
All right. So today's topic is how many is too many, Lil? Or is there too many? Is the question. So we have, I've looked up a couple of different, they're all commercial studies. So in no way are these numbers scientific or peer reviewed or anything like that. It's very, what do they call it? It's not armchair. It's all fluff, but it's fun. So
anecdotal.
The first one is from the US Superdrug Organization, right?
Interesting.
So, and their survey was conducted over I think it was 2,000 people. And the US average for women was 7 partners and men, wait for it, 6.7. I don't know how you get 6.7.
It's an averaged out. So question though, is this in a year?
No, this is the total. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I panicked as well. So Durex did a study a couple years after, and they extended theirs out
This
globally.
is the condom brand, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Obviously, theirs was done for marketing purposes. So they're going to skew towards higher numbers.
Yes.
Because that is better for them. And they did both together.
Yes.
Right? So globally for them, the average was 9, right? But then they went down into, so the highest out of all individual nations was Turkey at 15.4 partners. Again, 0.4.
It's an average metric.
Australia came in second at 13.3. Right? See, it's okay. It's okay. New Zealand following us on 13.2, Iceland on 13, and then South Africa on 12.5, and their US average came out to 9. And then I've got on the infographic for everyone. So this is the Durex numbers. We'll keep going on to the UK. Goes down to 9.8. India 3, China 3.1. Vietnam 3.2, and then Hong Kong 3.7. So, what do you reckon?
About what?
Those averages. How does that feel?
Incorrect.
It feels grossly fucking short, doesn't it?
It does.
These were done the early teens. It was like 2013 through to 2017.
And also there's still shame and stigma and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that people tend to undersell the amount of partners that they've had, both men, women, and just people in general, right? Because there's this whole shame of, or I guess firstly, idealization of someone being pure, being a past thing, and like only, saving yourself for marriage was always a preconceived kind of notion.
Yeah.
And now that we're kind of more liberated and open about sexual behaviors and activity, I think we're a lot more open-minded. So I think that this number is more of an arbitrary number and not an accurate depiction, because for at least myself and the people that I know,
the average lie across the world about
I think that's the average lie. Like times that by about like 3 or 4 for each of them is probably what I would say.
Yeah, what was the American Pie rule? It was like add 3 for girls and remove 3 for boys.
Yeah,
I think it was.
How many people have you had sex with? It's like 3, 0.
Yeah, there you go. So I think, honestly, the Australian number feels okay. It does. On average, that feels okay. Because you've got to remember, look at people that you know that have had a couple of partners. Well, they see the
and
difference
also long-term relatitions too tend to obviously.
Us is about 10 years almost.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's significant socially. So it does feel like that's okay for a lot of my friends. And it's like literally, that's what I'm about. It's like literally go to certain social circles, and because obviously it's it's reflective. You have similar morals and shit. So there are some circles that'll definitely smash that straight in, bang, perfect.
Yeah.
Some circles it'll skew lower.
Yeah.
And there's ones that'll blow that out of the water.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's interesting. Look,
but I guess coming into the way that I'm assuming our episode is trying to be geared at is, how do you perceive it in a relationship, right?
Yes.
Is it about that, the kind of direction that we were going to be going in?
I think it's as the older, I guess I'd have older values, kind of, right? Because that's just of the period
more
I was born
traditional in that sense.
It doesn't raise a red flag at all. But I think it adds perspective. I don't personally care. I'd prefer not to know anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think once you know, then it does add a perception that you don't need because it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Platitudes.
Yeah, true. But I think it's really important for some people. So I guess it depends, man. I could give 2 fucks. But look, honestly, I feel like if the number was in the hundreds, I'd probably be a bit sluggish.
Why is that number the line for you?
No, I don't know because I don't ask.
I know, but you use that specific number as like an idea.
Yeah,
why do you think that would be the idea for you?
That's a lot.
Yeah, objectively, sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you try and average it out over how old they are and stuff, and you're like, fuck. From like active age of like 18 to like whatever age they are, and then you're like, Jesus Christ. Because then I'll start doing the math. That's why I don't ask. Like, it's better.
So do you think that comes more from a place of insecurity rather than, or even comparison by, default
No,
means?
you know what it was? It was a quote that I read somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a joke, but then it like, how a lot of jokes hit home and they're true.
Sure.
And it was like, a key that can open any lock is known as a master key, and a key that can be opened by any lock is just known as a shitty lock.
I hate that analogy because what that does is inherently
true.
That's
what. Yeah. So that's why I think that just
There's
comes
nothing
back
wrong
to
with
me.
having preference, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to kind of test where that mindset came from.
Yeah. And that's why you don't. Like, for me, I just don't need to know.
Yep, that's absolutely fair.
Because you can't hold people for their past. Like,
No, absolutely not.
you don't
And if
know
they're
what-
with you in that instance, that
Yeah.
should be all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know, like, you don't know the situation, you don't know the scope, you don't know the reasoning or whatever. Like, there's like a lot of different reasons that people have sex with people.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you don't know, man. It's not my place to judge. So just keep the information away from me.
Yeah.
So I don't panic. And then, yeah, I think I'm good. But yeah, I don't know. I would a low number off put you from a boy? If they were a virgin and they were 0, would you fuck them?
Yes. So I guess.
Would you bang a virgin?
I have.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
My first long-term boyfriend was a virgin when we met.
Yeah, but you were young, right?
My number was well above the number here at the age of
but I
which
guess
I was.
at that age, do you feel like maybe you're not as judgmental?
I've never been judgmental in terms of numbers of sexual partners.
That's good. That's very good.
For me, there's never any shame with that. My shame and jealousy in terms of sex usually
I don't get jealous. Yeah.
I do, and that's more a comparison thing. It's never been like the amount of. So I was engaging in sexual activity quite young for my age. And so for me, and also having like sex as naturally a special interest in learning about it, in facilitating workshops now, all that kind of stuff was interesting. Yep. So for me, it's never been like that. So I had sex with a virgin who was my long-term partner for 2.5 years, and you develop the skills. I have no issues with sleeping with, virgins, an outdated construct anyway, but I don't even, if it was over 100 partners for me, it still wouldn't be a problem. And for me, the mindset is, well, okay, it means that they've learnt different bodies, they've learnt different ways of doing certain things. Hopefully they'd have some idea of what works well, what works differently, how to adapt to different types of bodies and body needs. But yeah, never shame tied with that. I think my shame definitely comes from the place of jealousy or inadequacy of, oh, well, you've, maybe been with so many people that have done things that I couldn't give you, or that I, haven't tried. So I don't feel adequate in that way. So for me, I'm the same as you with, I don't want to know the number, but it's not related to the number itself. It's more, I don't really want to know in detail what you've done. Like, give me, I've done choking, slapping, drowning, X, Y, Z, sure. But don't give me the context of the person that you've done it with.
Sorry, wait. Drowning?
I've been drowned in a bathtub before. I have. It's an interesting time. Give everything a go once, except...
Fucking oath. Yeah. Fucking oath.
Calm down, mate.
I just want to get a submarine now. I don't know why. Oh my God, that was great.
Okay, use a submarine. I call him seaman. If you're down, but really down.
Yeah. So look, I don't I don't want it to throw me, but it does. It does throw me a bit if it's like.
Do you think that's a societal thing as well?
It's definitely coding, but it's also I want to. That's the thing, because as soon as then I know, then I want to understand why. But then I really want to understand why.
See, my ex did that, and I actually got severely slut-shamed and told I was broken and dirty, and it then perpetuated.
I can see how it could go
cycle.
that way.
It's not healthy in that way.
It's not a good.
So look, at the end of the day, if you're not someone who's comfortable with knowing, really don't ask. If it's a way of confirming for you your fears or your own preconceived judgments, and there's nothing wrong with the way that you have these thoughts, but it's important to like look at why. And that's why I asked you about the why. So, I think that before speaking to or asking for that information, look at why it's important to you. And then if it's still important in a way of, I want to know the experiences you've had, or, I want to know if you've done this with like 3 people.
I'd ask.
Threesomes and that kind of stuff,
I would ask, if you're going for frequency, I'd be asking, why do you need to know?
But also think about it like this, right? If you've been sleeping with one partner every day for a year, that's having sex 365 times. What's the difference? Why does it having to be with a different person the problem?
I'd say it might be in terms of performance, possibly worse if you've had more sex with fewer people.
Look, I've been with an adequate amount of humans.
Yep.
I'd say the less experience, it doesn't make for a suckier time or anything. It just makes for more room for communication to be made, but they're more receptive, I've noticed, because they want to learn. Whereas people who have had a lot of sex are like, oh, I'm familiar with this. Or if they've been in long-term relationships, they're used to what their ex-partner are used to. And then they're doing it on you and you're like, I'm not your ex. Different body completely, mate.
My experience is less. Less is usually worse.
I'm indifferent. I've found that there's just a myriad of people who suck and a myriad of people who really are good and then others who are average. And it's just, you get a mixed bag. Long-term partners or at least relationships that are intimate, I think just naturally end up being better sex. But I think that's because there's a level of deeper intimacy. That being said, I've had some really good fucking sex with strangers too.
Like when you play the same game, a lot of times, like you just know like the shortest route to end the level.
Yeah.
Right? So then
That's
it's
a
like,
good way of saying
it's
it,
very practical. And you're like,
I know what this is going to do and this, and then we can just go to bed after.
It's literally like a fighting game. Like I know the ultimate move. So it's like forward, down, forward, all heavy punch, bang, done. Easy, see you later.
Yeah.
Like it's not, that to me, that doesn't make you better in bed with people.
No,
it just makes
doesn't.
you, it makes, this is, and it's like, it is an analogy in soccer.
With this person.
And it's like, you tend to respect players that have played in more leagues.
Yeah.
Because they've played different types of soccer.
Different,
as opposed to guys like Lionel Messi who have just stayed in the one league forever. And you're like, okay, so you can play really well in that league, but show us what you can do everywhere else.
And I think it's good to have a level of experience where you're open to trying new things. It doesn't necessarily mean having a new partner, and there's no shame. Even if you're someone who's only had sex with one person or no people at all, if you're open to learning and you're open to communication, I think that's the most important thing. If you're willing to take feedback, can accept some criticism along the way and just going, oh, actually, that's not where my clit is. Or actually, like, you know, go up, go down. Don't do this. Don't do that.
I think
that's
needs
important
to be more.
directive. And not many people do that.
No.
And it's really irritating because if you're not having good sex or not enjoying the sex you're having, firstly, you need to be communicating more about what you do like. And if you actually don't know what you like, you need to figure out your body yourself. I find a lot of lady friends of mine tend to have this assumption that people are just going to know all about that. Like, no, naturally women take 10 to 15 minutes to get aroused. You need to figure out what's good for your body. I can't handle like pressure. If it's too hard, I'm going to fucking die because then there's hypersensitivity. You need to literally find your balance and you need to figure out what works best for you.
But you know what?
Masturbate.
Like that's the thing too, man. Like if people are like that and the assumption is that like is that I mean, if you want to play guessing games or whatever, more power to you.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like, okay, so this.
But how sexy is feedback too? And you can put it in a sexy way. Like,
to me, it's just fucking annoying. It's like,
just,
dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to know that. And I guess it shows a bit of stupidity from their end to think that it's like we come out of a manufacturing line like exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Like you'd purchase a pair of shoes.
Yeah,
you know
it's
I mean?
like, no, bodies are all absolutely different. Yeah.
But again, that does show like there's not necessarily a correlation, I guess, between frequency and then actual skill.
No.
You'd like to hope though that.
Oh, but you can do surveys. I sent a bunch of surveys to some people I've slept with recently. They were like anecdotal.
So everyone listening.
I'm autistic. I'm sorry. I have to graph these charts.
You don't have to do that. Maybe just.
You can always just ask, but
I would advise maybe don't put it in writing.
It was an informal survey to like 4 or 5 people.
Was it a Google Doc?
No, but I made it into an Excel spreadsheet based on feedback. I asked 4 questions or 3 questions, and then I used that information in Excel spreadsheet, and then accumulated my average of like my best skills, my worst skills, things to improve on.
But it's all anecdotal.
But it's useful. No, but they're all consistent.
Okay.
So you know what? Sometimes you have to just make an Excel spreadsheet and bite the bullet and ask your fellow lovers to.
That is one way to go about it, and there's a lot of technically minded individuals that would respect that immensely. And probably a few guys that I play games with that would. Probably
told my
do the
mate
same
Tom,
thing.
who's a gamer, and he was just like, "Fuck, you've got balls to ask that."
It's called min maxing in the gaming community. Yeah, so min maxing is it's minimizing and maximizing your efficiency.
Thank you for telling me what the abbreviation is. I need to expand on that.
In a game, it's breaking the game down to the most efficient possible way to play something or do something. And that would be, and they run you run simulations and stuff on like characters and to figure out like what's optimal. In terms of gearing. So that would be like what's optimal in terms of like satisfaction ratings for the sex. So you min max.
Oh damn, that's brilliant. Yeah, I'm min maxing my sex life to all my lovers.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that as the episode title.
Min maximize.
Yeah, how much is too much? No, what was the thing? What was the
number thing? Yeah.
How many is too many? Dash min maxing. All right, cool. That was funny. We're gonna go into some trailers and shit now, so we can get flagged on YouTube. Game on.
Put your hands up on me 'cause I'm almost famous.
No, you're not.
Fuck, that was funny. All right, where are my trailers?
Not as funny as your reaction to me saying I've been drowned.
That was fucking great, dude. Holy shit balls. All right, so speaking of nerd stuff, you'll love it because it's going to be good.
Violent?
It's on Paramount Plus, and they're making a Halo TV series. Well, you're going to have to deal with it with all the people that you work with, all right? Because everyone's going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
Because it's sick. All right? Pa! What was that?
In a city from far, far away.
That's right.
They blew things
So if you're
up.
listening right now, you can't see shit. It's very impressive.
Are
humanity's best weapon.
Robots.
Master Chief, huh?
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose.
To kill.
To win this war. He and the other Spartans are our only effective weapons against the Covenant.
Against the Covenant. This is a very Mad Maxi. Not Mad Max, that's a Mexican food.
It's a Mexican chain. Oh, it's going to be so good, dude.
Looks good.
Fucking
forces appear to be excavating some kind of object.
Uh-oh.
When I touched the object, I felt something
Deep inside me.
different.
Really? He was shaking
so
afterwards.
predictable.
Yeah, because it's like it's the hero fantasy, right?
You just decided to help me. Why would a Spartan do that?
Because we're not all bad.
Look, man, I don't need Korean zombie movies or Korean fucking game shows. I like explosions.
Who can you
and
trust?
I like basic dialogue.
When the robots. Terrifying.
And then every nerd jizzes because I had the original voice of Cortana.
Think about how many like anime avatars are going to come out as this at the end of it when it's been released fully.
Something. Sacred ring. Halo.
Halo. Hello. Halo.
Humans
are weak.
Surrender to the Covenant.
Cortana, I'm gonna need you now.
Okay, Cortana. Please locate.
I don't know if you can see it, but my hair stand up when I watch it because it's like Halo's one of the biggest gaming franchises ever, and I played it from a baby.
I lost like half of that because I cannot hear shit.
Yeah, that's right. Halo's amazing, and
yeah, my friend used to get high and play it when we were 14.
Dude, we used to take Xboxes to people's houses and used to have to take extra TVs to link the Xboxes up.
Damn.
And play. It was the fucking best.
Oh,
anyway, so as you can see, it's heavily tied to nostalgia. But on a better note, Aziz Ansari dropped a 30-minute...
Wasn't he cancelled?
No, he's back because it was an awkward date.
Yes, no, you've established this, but I forgot.
This is the issue with cancel culture, is you can have an awkward date and not be a fucking weirdo.
I agree, but the fact is I just also don't stay up to date with pop cultures. Like, I genuinely am so out of the loop.
But see how damaging that shit is? That's the...
Well, you're the one who told me, otherwise I wouldn't have remembered. So technically, you damaged my perception of him, and then you've rectified.
That's exactly right. And this I've seen it. So everyone, it's on Netflix at the moment. I'm going to play it now. Just in case the flag didn't trigger off the first trailer, let's get it on the second.
I always say this, when you make the choice to come to the Comedy Cellar, you always make a good choice because you never know who's going to show up. Ladies and gentlemen, show your love for Aziz Ansari, y'all.
New York City.
Hey,
and it was pretty recent too. That's what I like about streaming. You can film some shit 3 months ago and then have it streamed all over the world.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing nice theaters and everything, but sometimes
I love his voice.
You gotta come back and compete with chicken wings.
You gotta compete with chicken wings. Oh, it's true. Like the fucking show. Was that it?
Was that it? Oh,
Damn,
wow. I didn't watch the trailer.
No, you did not. 50 seconds.
Well,
Thank you.
It's because it's a 30-minute special. I don't think you could give too much.
Fair enough.
But that's my one recommendation this week is that everyone finds 30 minutes and jumps on and watches that. He talks about the pandemic and stuff, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
It's time to babble.
It's time to turn
That's one of my favorite podcasts,
fuck
Hollywood
off.
Babylon. I went and saw them live. But that's us at 56 minutes. Look at
Damn,
that.
Pog, we've been doing good for time.
We have been doing good. We probably could have tightened it up a bit, I reckon.
Well,
but
I blame you for fucking our intro up.
I blame you for saying that you got drowned.
Look, it was a great time. I'll tell you the end of that story too, because there was more to that scene entirely.
Do you want to do that off camera?
Yes,
All right.
it was a little bit too R-rated for this podcast.
But as usual, thank you everyone for listening. This has been Irrelevant Platitudes. We are your hosts, Peter Benici and...
I'm not engaging with this. We're ending the show.
Actually, I had something to round the show out, and I reckon I've lost it. But
yeah, you've lost it. That's right. That's right.
It's gone. Gone. So instead of the long outro that we give you, where we tell you to go, just go to Linktree/IrrPlatPod, and that has everything. So that has links to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. You can email us. I've been bad. I haven't checked the email for a few weeks, so if you did email in, apologies. But thank you, and I'm gonna slap you with the outro. Do you want to say anything before we go?
Bye.
What are you waiting for? I'm waiting. The car's cold. Get the fuck out of here! What? Fucking warm it up. Get out of here! All right.
You heard the man. Get out of here. Thanks for listening to Irrelevant Platitudes.
Fuck Gladys and ScoMo.